It's a different type of Adam Sandler movie. I didn't mind it. Hello, welcome to Just My Thoughts. I'm your host Khaleel Ward. On this episode, I'll be talking about Spaceman. It's a new Netflix movie. It's about an hour and 45 minutes. Stars Adam Sandler and Carey Mulligan. We get a lot of Sandler. He's an astronaut on this solo journey. It's like 189 days in. He's on the outskirts of Jupiter. He's out there to examine this big looking cloud thing. That's what it looks like. Anyway, when we first see him, he's setting up with Mission Control to do like this interview, answer some questions. But all he really cares about is hearing back from his wife. They send messages to each other, and they communicate because he's been gone for a long time. However, he hasn't heard from her recently. And, he's calling the people down there like, hey, is my wife okay? Go check on the house or whatever because she's pregnant. Turns out the wife has sent a message, and it's not a good one. The wife is like, hey, yeah, I know you're in space and you're going to be there for a while, but I'm leaving you. I'm going somewhere else, blah, blah, blah. And Mission Control intercepts the message, and they're like, we can't send this to him. It's going to mess up his psyche. It's going to mess up his mental. He's going to mess up the mission if he gets this message. So we can't send it. We got to go talk to her and stall a little bit. So we keep seeing him send messages and still no reply. Then, he's up there by himself and he starts having these dreams and nightmares or whatever. And he wakes up one day and goes into one of the rooms, and it's just a large spider in the room. And he's like, okay, I am bugging out. I'm going to go lay down. And the spider talks. And he's like, okay, Mission Control, do you have cameras in this room? Can you check it out, please? I need to make sure. And they can't see anything. And he thinks he's going crazy. And the spider is very gentle and very soft-spoken. And he's like, I'm not here to hurt you, skinny human. That's what he calls him, skinny human. And he's just like, I've studied humans for a while, and your loneliness has intrigued me. And Jacob is like, I'm gonna call him Jacob. He's from the Czech, Jacob or whatever. I'm calling him Jacob. So he's like, what? And the spider starts talking to him, and he kind of opens up a little bit and starts communicating with this spider. Eventually he names him Hanus, and he starts giving him like little food to introduce to him, and the spider likes it. And they're talking, and the weird thing that happens, besides it being a giant spider, when Jacob is having memories about his wife, Hanus can like see it, and he starts asking him questions, and it's not always good memories that he's having, and he's like, okay, let's talk about it. So Hanus is essentially like his space therapist, right? And Jacob doesn't want to deal with those emotions, with everything that happened and what led him to eventually take this long solo mission, so it's a quiet movie. It's not the Adam Sandler thing that we usually see on Netflix where, some weird stuff is happening, him doing weird voices. It's very subtle, very quiet movie. And that's why I watched it, because I was like, oh, this is different. He's not going to be making all faces and stuff like that. So I enjoyed it in that aspect. I enjoyed the conversation he was having with Hanu, like in the way he started to care about him. And when at some point Hanu was like, I gotta go, and he's like, wait, don't leave, because he started to care for him. And Hanu is not always for telling the truth when he first meets him. They have things to talk about and things to discuss, and it was cool seeing their relationship change as he's in space, preparing for this mission. And Mission Control is talking to him, but he's talking to Hanu, and they're like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, nothing. So it gets to a point where he has to do some things that Mission Control doesn't want him to do. But it's a different type of movie, I would say. But I enjoyed the conversation that Jacob and Hanu were having about relationships and, the things that were going on with his wife and why he went on the mission. But do I recommend it? Yeah. It's different. It's Adam Sandler, and I know people, don't really enjoy all his movies, but it's a different type. Carey Mulligan is in it, not a lot, You know, she shows up here and there, but she doesn't have much to do. And again, it's only an hour and 45 minutes. But those are just my thoughts on Spaceman. If you watched the movie, let me know what you thought about it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.